Breaking baseball news, Carlos Correa is heading back to Houston. According to our Jim Bowden, he has waived his no-trade clause to return to the Astros, where he was Rookie of the Year in 2015 and won the World Series in 2017. Will reportedly play third base for Houston. All right, let's get Matt Snyder in here, our baseball reporter. Matt, look, it kind of brings back memories, right? But what do you think Correa has left, and how can he help the Astros this season?
Yeah, he's been oft injured since he's joined the Twins. And remember, he initially agreed to a contract with the Giants, and then his medicals caused that to fall apart. Then he agreed with the Mets, and his medicals caused that to fall apart. And again, a lot of injured list stints with the Twins. But when he's right, he still is a very talented player, very capable at the plate. A good defender. He's gone down in defensive metrics here in the last few years with all those injuries at shortstop, but playing at third, you don't have to have as much range. He's always had a great arm, so his arm at third base is not going to be an issue at all. I think that going back to Houston with that short left field porch, the Crawford boxes there in Houston, in addition to kind of a homecoming, will kind of reinvigorate him. I think he's going to be a quality offensive player the rest of the way, and it is kind of a feel-good story there in Houston. He was the #1 overall draft pick for the Astros when they were really, really bad, and then he was part of the group that made the Astros into the force that they remain to this day, where they're in the playoffs every single year. They've been in so many World Series. They've won the World Series twice. I like the match here. If the Twins were going to shed him, this is one of the few places where I would have said, yeah, it makes sense for him to go back there. So it'll be interesting to see how good he is. He's obviously not going to be near as good as he was in 2021, but he was one of the best players in baseball. That's why he got such a big contract there in free agency. But I do think that he can be productive, especially at third base instead of shortstop, where he doesn't have to move around nearly as much.
Yeah, that 21 season, he was 5th in MVP voting in the American League. And even though he really never lived back up to that in Minnesota, he was an all-star last season. Astros in first place in the division, 5-game lead right now, heading into August. They are reportedly still very interested in finding a top-of-the-line arm on the market right now. Kelly, Alcantara, Cease, Kwan, all players that Bob Nightingale is reporting, and John Heyman as well, that they are looking to go after. What would you like to see them do if you're an Astros fan?
Yeah, I mean, the arms thing is interesting because they have so many pitchers, good pitchers, who are coming back from injury in August. It's J.P. France, Spencer Arrighetti, Luis Garcia, and Christian Javier. Now, they're all coming back from major injuries. You don't know how productive they're going to be. I think that they would like to kind of have 3 aces for the playoffs. When you look at Framber Valdez and Hunter Brown, if you grabbed somebody like Sandy Alcantara and he pitched the way he's capable of pitching, the way he's looked the last 2 times out here in his first season off Tommy John surgery, you might be looking at a trio of aces in the playoffs, and that's obviously what they're looking at there. Left field, you mentioned Stephen Kwan in that mix as well. Another area where they could shore that up, they could play Jose Altuve back at second base. You remember he moved to left field at the start of the year. Isaac Paredes is hurt at third base, might even be out for the rest of the season. That's where Correa fits. They've just had so many injuries. It's kind of remarkable that they're in first place. So when you have this many injuries, you have the wherewithal to go out and make these moves. Kind of a nice thing, isn't it, to have that much depth that you can make those kind of moves, and you also have a lot of guys coming back from injury. They could well be a force here late in the season.
Seen the Yankees make a couple of moves already today in their bullpen, requiring a reliever and a closer. The arms race is heating up here as we move around the 90-minute mark to the trade deadline. Here are our 9 top trade targets remaining. We mentioned that they might be trying to go out and get one of those top 3 guys in Kelly, Kwan, Alcantara, Cease as well. How many of these 9 do you think will be on the move by the time we're all said and done at 6 Eastern?
We're going to be just about half, 4 or 5 in there. Obviously, we can't go exactly half with 9, but 4 or 5, I think, is going to be the number. I think that Suarez and Cease are probably going to stay put, although A.J. Preller is a mad scientist, and I wouldn't put it by him. It sounds like the White Sox are going to hold on to Luis Robert there. Kwan's a wild card. Maybe it will get done, maybe it won't. Gallen and Kelly are definitely gone, and depending on what they get, I think that kind of dictates where the Marlins go. with Alcantara and Cabrera there. They don't have to deal either one of those, but it's, let's say both Gallen and Merrill Kelly get big packages, and then somebody like the Cubs or Astros or both don't get starting pitchers in addition to the Yankees from either Gallen or Kelly, then I think they're going to start bowling teams over, because those three teams all want starting pitching. So a lot of that has to do with where Gallen and Kelly go, how much the Diamondbacks get back, and then if that kind of perks the Marlins up a little bit there with Alcantara and Cabrera, and like, hey, maybe we need to get involved in this. It's going to be really fun to see what the next 100 minutes hold here.
We have our live trade tracker going on right now at cbssports.com, keeping you up to date with everything that's going on right up to the minute, and we'll continue to do so right here on HQ. At 6 o'clock Eastern time, our Connecticut studio will take over with wall-to-wall coverage and winners and losers from the trade deadline as well. We'll also have a highlight from tonight's Hall of Fame game, the first preseason game in the NFL.